Hello, everybody. I am Lufungo. I am joined for this match by Fire Waster on the comms. Hello, Fire Waster. I know you're busy, but perhaps you can give us a quick hello.
Hello, Lafungo. Hi, chat.
Excellent. All right, so just a quick hi because you're repping. So Fire Waster will be back for more later. I hope you're all prepared to enjoy this second SMK match of the day. This time we have Eric and KVD. KVD is on paper the heavy favorite for this match. He finished first in the seeding run and has already won his first two matches of the tournament. Eric, that being said, Eric is no slouch either. He recently got his first overall world record in an individual Grand Prix track on Choco Island 2, which is his favorite track in the game. One could even say he's a core specialist, but I think that would be downplaying his skill on the rest of the game. So this should be a pretty good match. No, it was not GV1 with Koopa. We don't speak about that. This was Choco Island 2 in the anything goes category, and by anything goes I mean you're allowed to use items. In this particular case, it was using 2 feathers that allow you to do a very nice shortcut. All right, so the match is starting, and we're kicking it off with a special cup, which is perhaps not that common in this tournament. I must admit I have not been following too closely, so I don't know if we've been seeing that many special cups as the opening cup. But in any case,
it's a Carl
if you aren't familiar with this, it's a Carol special. Well,
yeah.
that it makes sense then, because Carol being the top seed of this tournament will always get to pick, and at least for his group stage matches, what the first cup of the match is, aside from the one that is banned by his opponent. So we see 2 opposite ends of the well, not RNG spectrum, but of how well things can go, as Eric drowned at the broken bridge and Carol picked up a mushroom at roughly the same time. So you'll want to keep an eye out on the right feed where KVD is and see him execute, hopefully what we call a Jesus shroom, to finish off the track. So right across the bridge here and shroom over the wall and finish, saving multiple seconds. And Eric also picked one
Eric redemption mushroom for Eric.
Oh no, you jinxed him. You jinxed him.
I should have kept quiet.
Yeah.
I should have kept quiet.
I'd like to point out the nice 777 lap on Carol's. This nice casino winning time there.
Ding 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 ding. Points
as a brief side note, as they're between tracks, I see my girlfriend in chat. Hello, Grank. Shout outs to her for supporting my hobby and competing in this game, despite the tremendous amount of hours that can be dumped into this. Not easy to deal with.
No.
Top SMK player, as I'm sure a few people are familiar with. As we move on to KB2, which is a very divisive track in terms of community opinions. I think Fire Waster here is a pretty big fan of this track.
It's probably my favorite, yeah.
And on the other extreme, I think there are a few people who really dislike this track. I'm not one of them.
I can see why, but they are wrong.
Yes.
And I think Carl is on pace to getting his world record again if he gets some items.
Yeah, I mean, he already got a shroom on DP3 for, I think it was a 103, if I remember correctly.
103, yeah.
Which was faster than his world record, his cup world record DP3, which is the 105, if I remember correctly. And this KB2 of 47 is very strong without any items.
Yeah, he had, I think, a 105 with a gopher hug.
Yes. Yeah. So here, more than a mushroom, KVD will be hoping for a feather, and the same goes for Eric once he makes his way to GV3. So a mushroom is still fine, but it's not as powerful as a feather would be.
Carl hates this mushroom because he almost never makes time.
Yeah, he just burns it rather than going for the the most time-saving option.
He's not a Mario Kart Super Secret guy, otherwise he would just
No,
go for the other.
well, perhaps we'll get to see if Eric makes more gains with his mushroom. See Carol going for a very aggressive long boost placement, and a second mushroom for Eric, who did not go for the faster or more time-saving mushroom cut that's been referenced to this point. Now 1 minute flat is a very solid time. I was going to say itemless, but there was a shroom in there.
Yeah, must have saved like half a second at most.
Yeah.
And on Carl's world record earlier this week, he had like a not so good Vanilla Lake too, so he can still do it. And I think like Eric just another shroom for Eric.
Yeah, no shroom. So that's triple shroom GV3. Sadly, not the best track to get triple shroom on, but you know it's an easy 2.5 gain. 102 also still very solid, especially because Eric was not going for long boosts, so it's a safer approach. So we see KVD crashing into an ice cube. Yeah, the it's perhaps not so obvious, but the CPUs take out a lot of the ice cubes in lap 1, and there's a specific column of ice cubes. Oh, a mini shroom snipe for KVD. So this is an opportunity for Eric to get back into it, because KVD is going to suffer the full duration of this mini shroom snipe, which will lose us, I want to say, 15 seconds. It's at least 10.
Yeah, I think on VL2 is slightly worse because you can't go for the the crack jumps anymore because it's too hard to do with, when you are mini. So yeah, I'd say he lost about 15 seconds.
So 56, I'd say. Well, yeah, perhaps 10. Because KVD would get say mid 40s, like 43 to 46, assuming no real crashes. And we see a big time save for Eric, who does not get. He has the skill to not get sniped by a mini shroom.
It's a very important skill. I failed in that twice during my match earlier today.
Unfortunate. So I don't think there's much Eric can do to get back into this. He's reliant on KVD making a mistake at this point, and probably also needs a feather.
Yeah,
so to have any chance.
He mentioned earlier today that he got the mid-lap feather, but he also said he would never go for it because if you don't make it, your run is immediately invalidated. So
yeah, so we have a rule set that is not quite anything goes for SMK in this speedrun environment, because SMK is a game that is fundamentally broken with regards to checkpoints. The only checkpoint that actually matters when doing a lap is the finish line. So if you can somehow manage to loop around the finish line, and there are a lot of ways of doing this, then you can just finish a lap for free. And we see KVD finish in 7:23, not quite the 7 minutes flat he had in his previous match, but still a very strong time for a tournament environment.
Very solid, very solid. And with 2 less items, so kind of makes sense. And a mini shroom snipe. Actually, 7:23 with all that happened in that race, it's a pretty solid chrono.
Very strong. Oh,
unfortunate.
Yeah, the electric stone nanners in Rainbow Road are not fun. 8:05 for Eric, respectable time. It's Special Cup is probably the cup with the most reasonable variance in times. I'm thinking of Star Cup as well. That can be pretty swingy, but in Special Cup, you can really accumulate time loss or time gain throughout all tracks in the cup quite easily.
Yeah, Star, it's like there are mainly like two big factors. It's the RNG, and then there's Bowser Castle 3, which is like the
Yes.
track itself is a big RNG pool. So if you get unlucky with the foams, you get like or blocked or smashed, and then you're done. There's nothing. Sometimes there's nothing you can do to avoid it.
Oh, so there's a question by Sparks in the chat that I do not have the answer to, but Fire Waster does, which is which cup pushed back by Eric in
Uh,
this case.
Let me double check, but I think it was flower. Oh no, sorry, mushroom cup was
Mushroom.
pushed back.
I think I've heard Eric mention that he will systematically push back Mushroom Cup. Guess he doesn't like it in this environment. I believe he mentioned that it was because any individual mistake is too costly.
Yeah, I can see that. Uh, there are like there's just one, no, sorry, two items that can give you a big advantage, but one of them is hard to execute, which is the Jesus Room on Donut Plains 1. Uh, and yeah, otherwise it's obviously the track with the most pure driving you have. Sorry, the cup with the most pure driving. So yeah, I can see that argument being valid.
Yeah. So have you done the countdown for them yet? Or because I see KVD is is prepping his Star Cup menu.
Yeah, I am talking to them as we speak.
Excellent.
Uh,
We get going
so
shortly.
next up we'll have Star Cup. Check if they are both ready.
So Star Cup, as we were talking about a little bit earlier, is in large part about what happens on BC3 because it's very easy to lose a lot of time on BC3. And on the flip side, it's very easy to save time if you get a feather on CI2 and don't mess it up dramatically, like has happened at least once in this tournament so far. Not naming names.
Sorry, I missed what you said last.
Don't worry about it.
Oh, were you cheating me? Because I was checking with the players. Sorry.
No, I just mentioned how CI2 feather is a
Oh,
large source of time save, assuming you don't botch it in dramatic fashion
yeah,
without
assuming
naming
you do it
names.
right. Yeah, yeah. I mean, what can I say? I have no defense. And the funny thing is that I did that like I don't know, 80 times in the last month or so. And I always get it right, but of course it had to go wrong during a race.
Yeah, that's how it
That's
goes.
how it goes, yeah.
Yeah. So we get to see the glorious 1P KB1 start, where you either have to deliberately tap a CPU if you go right, or you go around them to the left and have a very wide first corner.
Yeah, I
Oh,
usually go for the right path, hitting toads, then
yeah.
trying to avoid princes. Yeah, it doesn't always work.
No, sadly not. KB1 is all about maintaining speed, and unfortunately, Eric has lost at least a bit of it and some more there, whereas KVD has maintained full throughout. And you'll
Wow,
see the
41.
41 is very impressive, itemless. Well, I mean, even
Insane.
with an item, it would be quite strong, but in a tournament setting with no items, 4 laps under 8 seconds, that's ridiculously good.
That's a sight to behold. I don't think I've ever seen that, to be honest. His first lap wasn't even that great, and he still got 41. It's just insane.
Yeah,
He's been
so
playing like on a very high level. Oh,
into earning himself some push-ups on CI2.
this is way too funny.
All right,
Some
so
people go looking for mushrooms and or feathers. They will gain you like, I think a feather gains you 7 seconds, something like that. Mushroom isn't much worse either.
it's, a well-executed mushroom will also save, I'd say, at least 5 seconds. Ooh, that green shell for Eric was so close. Just a random green. That's navigating the lake. Oh, okay. Toad hit something and decided to block Eric's path, forcing some extra time loss. KVD gets the troll feather, the lap 5 feather that
Yeah.
allows you to save like 2/10 or something. And Eric also
Eric
gets a troll
does the
feather.
same. Wow, this is unlucky.
Yeah. Well, 58s for both. It's not quite what Eric would have wanted, I think, especially given how much of a fan he is of this track. But
Yeah,
Todd
that
decided
gold
to get
really
in his
cost
way.
him.
So now we move on to the worst track of the game. It's,
Everyone's favorite track.
that's absolutely terrible. And KVD misses the zoom start, just to have a little bit of extra time driving around this track. So, now, as does Eric,
Are they mimicking each other? This is what it looks like.
perhaps. So, yeah, clean lap 1 for Eric, aside from the miss zoom. KVD manages to create himself a little path, the ice cubes, so could have a very clean VL1 here, although VL1 and very clean are sort of oxymorons. Um, not a good combination, but it seems like KVD makes escape this hellhole in fairly record time, especially considering he missed his zoom. So sub 50 with the miss zoom is exceptional, whereas Eric unfortunately went wide before the finish line.
He went for the long boost and missed the wall, so he shot very wide and
Always painful. Oh,
seems to
I
happen
see.
a lot on the
I see
crushing.
there's some disagreement in the chat, but I'll have you know that I'm the commentator, hence I am right. And I understand DP3 is certainly a struggle for anyone who's newer to the game, and remains a struggle for a very long time. But it's very satisfying to drive at higher levels, something that does not occur with VL1. And also in the specific context of NTSC GP speedrunning, which is the context of this tournament, DP3 has the Jesus Shroom, which is already better than anything else that VL1 has to offer.
I will politely disagree on the VL1 assessment because I think that when you, well, I mean, when you get into the zone there, it can be a good thing, but
There is no zone. The
it's
zone is a
until
lie.
then it's painful. I agree. Yeah, but yeah.
The zone is the version of VL1 where there are no ice cubes, and even then it's still not great.
Yeah, I can see where you come from, but I just I'm not allowed to agree.
Well, you may not admit it, but deep down, you know I'm right. Meanwhile, KVD drives what is for 1P, like one player Grand Prix, very solid BC3.
And he had a lava bath too, so can say
Despite a
that.
lava bath. Yeah, so BC3, Bowser Castle 3, is the only track where you can fall into the lava and still have a reasonably solid race, at least in the context of this category we're playing in. And another missed zoom start for KVD. I think that's 30 push-ups in just this cup.
Yeah, 3 out of 5. And I think this cup wasn't supposed to be like actually even close, but Carl has missed so many zones that it's like they are within one lap. Each
Yeah,
other.
I mean, those 3 zoom starts add up to, well, maybe around 10 seconds of time loss. So he did get pushed from behind on one of the tracks, but still, that's several seconds per missed zoom start. Granted, Eric did also miss one on VL1. This is known as MC4, aka MC Boar. There's not much that should really happen here, and I say that, and I managed to jinx KVD because he loses a few seconds by crashing into Todd and then into a wall. But this will not be enough for Eric to catch up.
I think Carl might be thinking that he is behind or maybe close enough, but he's driving like very nervously. I don't
Perhaps.
really
I'd be.
see that.
I mean, why would he think he's that far behind? Or yeah.
I mean, not that he's exactly behind, but like that the race is way closer than it is. Like if it's 3 zoom starts, he knows that he has some time there.
Yeah, I guess 747. Let me just check my reference materials here.
It would be like 6 or 8.
aka speedrun.com. I mean, 747 is it's still a reasonably solid time. I mean, I think in a tournament, going sub 8 on Star Cup is already decent enough.
Yeah, it's respectable.
And yeah, 801, so not shabby at all. So once again, KB sort of, yeah, it should be Flower. I mean, based on what you were saying earlier, that Eric pushed back Mushroom. So Eric has to win Flower Cup in order to get a chance to play the cup that he himself pushed back, but also to stay alive in this match. And so I assume we'll be seeing some menu setups soon from this feed. I'd say that so far the match is going more or less as expected. KVD is the top seed going into the tournament for a reason. He's got a lot of Grand Prix speedrunning experience under his belt. And his driving level is just so high that it's very difficult to catch him.
Yeah, and he's been playing so well that he's been able to get away with missing most zoom starts out of everyone in the tournament, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe that is the case, yes.
Counting them down, be right back.
Yep. I'm talking up KVD a lot, but it's not to say that Eric is a bad player. On the contrary, he's very solid driving skills himself. And as mentioned, he did get a world record on an individual track category earlier this week. But it's just, in SMK, the depth of driving and item usage and all the mechanics is such that the difference between a very the cream of the crop, the top players and great players is already very significant.
Yeah, like
perhaps even more so than between a great player and a good player. It's unlike many other games where you sort of get this logarithmic curve of skill to output. Somehow in SMK the gaps tend to get bigger once you reach the top. Yeah. Oh, and immediately KVD gets a shroom. I'd say it is a bit greedy to immediately go for the lap 1 long boost when he was not ready to receive a mushroom there. He could have waited 1 lap and gotten a better execution on the shroom. But suppose he just wants to pick up as many items as he can to maximize his odds of getting even more beneficial items.
Yeah, maybe he went.
Well, there it is. And that time he was ready to receive a mushroom and immediately go for the long boost.
Ooh.
Perhaps he was trying to beat Neo's tournament record on this track, but not going to happen after that DK troll. Ooh. And Eric gets sideswiped very nastily by Koopa, denying him not only the wall hop, but also making him come to a complete stop. So you'll see that in the splits, that Eric lost a bunch of time on that last lap. See that 13 seconds instead of 9.
Yeah, missing that wall hop is very, very costly. You get sideways and you are over the dirt there, so it's like by far the worst case scenario.
And KVD misses the worst zoom start to miss in the entire game. Ghost Valley 2 is notorious, especially in multiplayer competition, for being the worst track to miss a zoom start on, because it's so narrow and it's so short that catching back up to your opponent after a missed zoom start is extremely difficult. But even in Grand Prix speedrunning, missing your zoom start on this track is particularly bad because it's very easy to be caught back down in CPU traffic. And because the track is so narrow and it's so twisty, the CPUs slow down and speed up at very random seeming intervals. Oh, Carroll going for the... Oh, he gets it! Wow, okay, he redeemed his missed zoom start by landing the feather finish. I was not expecting that. And
Yeah, but
you can see the sub 3 second lap.
and Eric with almost the same timer with just a
Yeah,
regular.
just clean driving. Yeah, 48 is a solid no item performance in a tournament setting.
Yeah, just covering a little bit what you said on GV2, I would argue that the worst zoom start to miss is probably a toss between GV2 and Bowser Castle 3 because of the
Yeah.
first two sessions on BC3. But yeah, you don't wanna you don't wanna miss on those ones.
So once again, it's Donut Plains, so you know the drill. We're looking for a mushroom, hoping to be able to see a nice Jesus room or two. But KVD decides instead to go hug a mole, and not the danger mole in chat.
Where's Zarkov to say it's a gopher?
Nah, just a mole.
I wouldn't know the difference anyway, so. Yeah, so they are still within like one item range, especially on BC2, especially if it's a feather.
There it is. Eric has an opportunity, so he didn't go for it immediately, not being greedy in the face of not being prepared,
Too
unlike
fast to
KVD.
use first.
Yeah. So Princess might cause a little bit of trouble here. Oh, no, what? Does Eric not know the DP2 Jesus room?
I
Surely
think
he
he
does.
does, but
Was he
he
just
doesn't
scared
agree.
because of Princess?
I think he
I'm
might have chosen not
surprised.
to risk it, honestly.
I'm surprised by this choice because surely Eric knows that KVD is out driving him, which means that if he wants to stand a chance, Eric should be trying to maximize any item he receives.
Oh, but you wanna hear something? I know that Eric listens to um, the stream, to the restream while he's playing, so
This is
maybe
true.
I don't know how far back we are, and maybe he got some kind of like different idea from what we were speaking about that like, he
It's
wasn't
true,
close
but
enough to just.
he is 10 seconds behind. If you're listening to me, Eric, that's a free piece of info for you. Uh, which means, if he gets a feather, at the very least, he has to go for the feather finish. Because this is only real chance, other than banking on a KVD mistake, which doesn't seem like a good idea, given KVD's execution level.
Yeah, his form is fantastic, except for the
So
zoom start.
So I think if Eric doesn't get a feather, he's in trouble. And even then, he still has to. We would still have to execute it and land it. But
Carl
yeah, there's
almost got smashed.
yeah, but he survived. So we'll
Was
see.
one frame away from getting
Ooh.
smashed.
KVD now has a shroom for safety on his final lap. Oh, I just used it. No fear. And no feather for Eric, which might just spell the end of the match for him. Because with, there's still a 10-second difference going into... Ooh, crash? Yeah, okay, so he saves back 2. But so that means there's an 8-second difference going into MC3. And that's not really a gap you can make up just on your own. At this point, Eric is fully reliant on KVD messing up or getting CPU sniped.
Yeah, it's gonna have to be like a turn of shame on the hairpin, or maybe a mini mushroom snipe. Or I don't know what. They are actually like, he's actually like within range of, I don't 2 or 3 mistakes plus him driving perfectly.
Yeah. Okay, so long boost. Unfortunate. I view this long boost as a sort of desperation move, and he gets a second shot at it because it's the only thing left in his power to try to get back into this. But I mean, yeah, I think the strategic mistake was made back on DP2, where he didn't choose to go for the Jesus room, and I'm really surprised that he chose not to do that. I think it's costing him a chance to be in this match. Yeah, this is pretty much over, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't see a way back unless he can somehow use the lightning on his screen and hit Carl.
Yeah, just to activate crowd control. Use the lightning now. But no, this is it. And KVD cruises to a victory in 8 minutes flat on Flower Cup.
Okay,
That's 3-0.
I'll try to get them to the server so we can talk with them. So I'll be muted for a little bit. I'll be
Sure.
right back.
So GG to KVD for winning this match in a 3-0 sweep. Well played to Eric as well, fighting his hardest to stay in it, at least have a shot at winning these cups. But KVD was just so strong throughout. I mean, we saw very strong times on all 3 cups, despite some stumbling with the zoom starts. He more than made up for it with excellent driving and some decent item use as well. So
Yeah,
props
I
to both
think
players.
this Carl's only item that didn't go exactly how it's supposed to was that first Choco Island mushroom. Oh,
Yeah,
maybe if you consider the Ghost Valley mushrooms, but
yeah,
I'm not sure.
that's more of a decision to not go for a riskier strategy. I
Yeah,
see
I
we're
agree.
joined by the winner of this match. Hello, KVD.
Hello, Lafango.
GG on the 3-0 sweep.
Thank you, thank you.
I my impression was that your driving is really clean at the moment. So I guess you have the double incentive for playing these 1P speed runs at the moment between this tournament and upcoming ESA run. So the competitive, I imagine that the competitive spirit within you, after having fled from 2-player competition, is perhaps focusing on this category.
Yeah, kinda. I do try to focus on clean driving indeed, and I know I have to work on my zoom start.
Yes,
Holy
3 missed zoom starts just in
4.
Star Cup.
Oh yeah,
Four?
sorry, I missed. I think
No,
5
3.
all told, maybe.
Yeah,
But
because you also missed
ridiculous.
BV2 and Flower, so yes, 5 in total.
5 and
I
15
heard
checks is
Carl's objective is to
disastrous.
finish this tournament with Matt Ballard's arms, so that's why he's
Well, he's
going
on
for the
track.
missed mushrooms.
Yeah, so I think at the moment it's a contest between Jarmu and me who can do the most push-ups. So we'll see how it ends up being at the end.
Yes. Well, so aside from the Zoom starts, how did you feel about this match?
I think again I got quite lucky with items, like definitely more than usual. Again, I like this first cup we played, Special Cup. I think I was roughly at the same pace as I was in the previous match. And until I got mini shrooms tonight on VL2. Yeah.
Okay,
So I was pretty happy with the performance. I think Eric probably didn't play to his best level, and I heard he also got trolled by CPUs. So.
Speaking of Eric, he is here. Hello, Eric.
hello, man.
Yeah, I don't know how well the stream will be able to hear you because, as usual, your mic is pretty low. But
I'll try to speak very loudly, hopefully.
yeah, exactly. Just shout into your microphone.
But yeah, I would have liked to at least won the Star Cup because I've been racing it so well lately, but it just wasn't in the cards. And...
Yeah, I mean you're kind of in a tough spot because KVD was driving so well that it's just it's hard to keep up with that.
It really is, and at this point, I think KVD got a French blood transfusion at this point.
Yeah, it certainly sounds like it. Speaking of
so the first and the last cup I agree, but the
man.
Star Cup I got nothing, and you could have beaten my time, 7:47 I think, with some nice items.
As usual,
yeah, my usual KB1, CI2, VL1. I generally I'll try to speak very loudly. Hopefully, was not very good.
Yeah, exactly. Just shout into your microphone.
CPU was not. But yeah, I would have liked to at least won the Star Cup because I've been racing it so well lately. But
yeah,
it just wasn't.
Sorry,
in the
I got
cards.
distracted because I was hearing the audio feedback through the restream. Tough spot because KVD was driving so well. I see. Okay,
I think I have that right now, actually.
It really is, and at this point, I think KVD got a French blood transfusion at this point.
I think it's going through Eric's. Oh, it's Eric. You probably didn't. I'm going to disable your audio somehow.
And you could have beaten my time, 7:47.
I don't know if we have.
Here, let me cut it myself if I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, my usual KB1, CI2, VL1. I generally drive it.
No worries.
Good. It just was not very good.
Okay, audio reception.
Yeah. So let me just run it. Well, okay, we'll see if chat mentions this. Sorry, I got distracted at some point. I'm going to assume it's fixed at this point. You've the restream. Cut your audio from your stream.
It's okay.
I see. Okay.
I think I have that.
Let me shut that down at 2. I'm sorry, I've got multiple tabs.
Let me cut the audio.
1 minute of silence to see if
it's
we can
going
fix
through
it.
Eric's.
I'll actually stop the stream.
Yeah, Eric, you probably didn't. Okay. I'm going to
that should do it.
Audio somehow. I don't know if we have. I'm going
to
stop
cut
touching
it myself
the.
If I can.
Yeah, the broadcast stuff.
Sorry.
No
anyway,
okay, so we'll check and confirm. Hopefully, it's okay now.
Okay. Okay, that should be better.
Yeah. So Eric,
yeah.
Sorry, trying to get back into things. Okay, we'll see. Right. So we saw you kick off the match by missing the Jesus room on DP3. How did that affect you from your stream for the remainder of the match?
I probably shouldn't even went
shut
for
that
it.
down. I'm sorry, I've got multiple.
I'm sadly very bad at it. As Duff pointed out at ESC, it's the second easiest trick in the game. And I'm shamefully bad at it, and I'm even worse at the one on DP2. So that does a huge disadvantage.
Yeah, we'll get to DP2 in a moment, but I guess first thing I want to comment before that on the DP3 shroom, I saw you hopping after activating the shroom. I don't know if you're aware or not that the easy approach to doing it is you just shroom at the water and you don't hop at all, and you clear the wall.
Okay.
So yeah, maybe give that a shot if you do some practice on that one.
That's a game changer right there.
It makes a world of a difference.
And also 2 extra tips there that I do that makes it work almost every time is don't let go of the gas and hold one of the directions. So you
Okay.
basically just aim, use the shroom, and hold right. That's all you have to do, to be
Nice.
honest.
Yeah.
Oh, it's what works for me. I don't know if people do it differently.
So essentially, you should never miss that.
That's yeah.
Well, if you
ideally.
get
It
CPU troll or something, you can miss it.
Yeah.
yeah. It's a type of item shortcut where you shouldn't be making an unforced error ever. Like there are other item shortcuts in the game where this can happen because they're hard tricks. But something like, for example, the CI2 feather. Again, not naming any names, but that's
You saw that, did you?
I did.
I feel like Coach got cheated there.
I feel attacked.
As you should. Shame.
I feel like I was more aggressive on my I think it was lap 2 plume on the world record than Coach was. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe he just barely missed it by a pixel.
Yeah, honestly, today was the day that everything was supposed to go wrong, I guess, because that's pretty much what happened. So, yeah, I can see why it wouldn't work.
It's
Right.
not Wednesday for us.
Not Wednesday.
And not Wednesday as well. You still have a match to play, Eric. Maybe 1 hour.
Maybe half Wednesday.
Another thing I wanted to ask you, Eric, was why didn't you go for the Jesus room on DP2?
'Cause I'm even worse at that one.
Damn. So I was baffled. I don't know if you had the audio again
Oh yeah, I did.
for this match. Well, then you heard what I had to say about it, what Fire
I'd
Waster had to
usually
say
be
about it.
surprised too.
Huh.
'Cause I have hit it before, but my success rate's probably like 5%.
Damn.
I can sort of see not going for DP2 shroom in a speedrun match situation, because especially if your success rate is low. Like mine isn't that great either. I think it is also the hardest of the three.
All right,
So-
I'm a bit surprised to hear this. I've always felt the DP1 was the hardest one, but all right.
Yeah,
Yeah, DP1
maybe.
Perhaps it's just your boomer hands aren't used to firing a shroom and then immediately hopping.
Nah, you have to hop for DP1 as well, but I think it's the fact that on
a little
DP2
bit
you
more
have to
delay.
do almost a full turn, and DP1 you can just you can aim better because you only have to turn a little bit. That's the difference for me.
Yeah, but there's less water to hit
True.
on DP1.
Yeah.
On DP2, there's a pretty wide range of bounce locations that will work. If anything, I'd suggest like I don't know what exactly the issue is for people who are struggling to land that one, but giving yourself more space away from the lake. So if you're on the outer edge of the dirt when you fire the shroom, I think that will increase your odds of making it over.
Okay, I appreciate that advice.
Yeah,
Because
because it gives you more buffer to get the hop in.
Yeah, so if I miss it, usually indeed I fail to bounce at all and I just overshoot. So maybe that's indeed a little fix that I can implement to get my success rate like at 80% or whatever.
overall, I would say my MBT driving is really good, but my item use is very far behind.
Yeah, that sounds very cartelian to me.
Now, Matt, on the other hand, he's really good with the shrooms.
Well, unfortunately, yeah, Matt couldn't get a stream set up in time to join the tournament. Hopefully in a future edition or something like that.
We're definitely missing you too.
Yeah, unfortunately, not feasible for me this time around. But, also, hopefully in the future, it'll be possible.
I hope so.
But yeah, GG's.
Yeah,
I felt I would have loved to see. I mean, I think we say this for all these matches, but I would have loved to see a cup or two more.
Yeah, at
felt
least
I have a
it-
feeling that we're gonna see at least 4 cups in the match against Jarmu coming up.
which it's
I
in
would say
45
maybe
minutes
5.
for those not aware.
I
Sorry,
could
Alex,
see
you saying?
5
Yeah,
cups.
yeah, it's definitely a possibility.
I'd say our skill levels are very similar.
Yeah, I think so too. That's and I think it'll be an interesting clash of styles because, at least in my opinion, I feel like Eric, your strong point is in the core driving, the as you were saying, not the item use, but the driving itself. Whereas for Jarmu, I think her focus is more on using the items as best she can and really maximizing her profit from those.
Yes, and she's really good at
Uh,
that too.
Yeah. So it'll be a cool clash of styles to see.
Yeah, I'm excited about it.
Hopefully it goes the distance, even though that increases tension for you, Eric, as a participant in the match.
I'd
How are
agree.
you with nerfs, Eric? By the way.
Oh, the nerves are not a factor.
Oh, wow,
Nice.
Not a factor.
that's impressive.
That's a really useful attribute to have in a competitive setting.
The first year we did one, I was nervous every match, just god awfully nervous. But I'm a lot more comfortable with my skill set, despite even when things go wrong. I just try to shake it off the best I can, not going full tilt.
No. Actually, sorry. Speaking of full tilt, I have a question for KVD now. How did you feel? How did you feel on VL2 when you you got sniped by that mini shroom?
I was mostly just, I wasn't tilting, but I was very disappointed because I think I was potentially again at 7.0x pace. Like if I got a feather or a shroom on Rainbow Road, I think I could have landed around the barrier again. If, like, provided I finished VL2 cleanly, which I did not in my 7.00 earlier this week.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, we were discussing that with Fire Waster.
so I was disappointed, but I wasn't. Yeah, okay, this can happen. It's. I would be the situation where I tilt is if I feel like this happens frequently when I'm already in a losing position. I just get like it just piles on and piles on. Then I really get annoyed. Now I'm just disappointed.
Fair enough. Yeah, makes sense. Were you more or less disappointed with the mini shroom snipe relative to your miss zoom starts?
Oh, the missed zoom shots are a far bigger annoyance. Absolutely.
Have you tried the visual cue?
I use the visual cue. I just suck.
All right, and on
Sometimes I
that,
think it lags.
think it lags.
It's like eye lag.
Yeah, it's a boomer lag.
I
The
guess so.
age,
We are getting old.
What can we say?
You've still got the
Alright.
young guys, Lafungo.
Perhaps, although glasses.
I have
Sure.
glasses too, and they don't help.
Maybe the glasses is what we are missing.
I'll try it, but I'm already with my face in the screen, so I don't think that's the problem.
Yeah. All right. I think I'm gonna get going. We've been
Yeah.
killing some
So
time here because there's nothing scheduled
right.
on this
So
channel
between
up until the next match.
between Eric, Firewaster, and me, we can still keep talking for. I don't know if you're in for that, Eric, or not, but we have
Chat
40 minutes of dead space to fill. Well, Alafongo, bye and thanks for the comms.
Yeah. Thanks for
I wanted
the,
to
the
actually.
entertainment.
I wanted to ask you one question before you go.
Sure.
Because you mentioned ESA earlier, and
Yeah.
I was wondering, have you been practicing in the shadows at all last days?
So that's a loaded question coming from you because you know the partial answer. I have in fact been practicing in the shadows, but I've been open about this with my competitors and co-entertainers for ESA. Um, I'm not really in a position to stream at the moment, but I have been doing some offline runs, and I'm pretty consistently getting mid to low 33s in all cups.
So, but I was asking since the last time you reported, if you played any at all.
So this week so far, no. The last
Okay.
I played was last weekend.
Right. All right. Yeah. Keep it up.
Thanks. And for people in chat, stay tuned. There's more SMK to come, and in 40 minutes is when you'll get actual gameplay again on this same channel. So yeah, thanks everyone. I'm signing out.
Yeah.
All right,
Yeah,
later.
thanks. Yeah.
Bye bye.
Thank you, Lorenzo. See you.
Yeah, so you guys are in for a treat because we're gonna do like a sort of a impromptu arthritis thingy podcast. I think if it's up to me anyway. I'm really excited about the match with Eric and Jarmo coming up.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
And
I think it's supposed to be one of the most like balanced matchups in terms of skills. I would say out of every pair of competitors, I think these two are the ones that are supposed to be closer in skill level.
yeah, so on paper I would agree with that, but I still don't think it will be as close as the match between Jarmo and you, Firewaster, because that was insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a
Well,
classic.
I think we would have to invent ties for this format if a match is to get closer than that, because I think in the end we were in the sum of the cup times we were like 2 seconds away or something like that. But yeah, that's always the kind of result that we hope when we set up these tournaments.
How are you feeling about your chances, Eric? Like, which cup do you expect to win? Which cup do you expect to struggle at, etc.?
Mushroom Cup right away struggle, I'm sure. I'll get really bad RNG. I should win the Star Cup. Special could go either way, and I would say the Flower could go either way.
So I think that's correct. Apart from the fact that actually Jarmu got, I think, a 737 Star Cup last round. So
Yeah, that's a PR for
should
her.
not underestimate her at Star Cup either. I think.
Oh no,
Because items too.
he gets monstrous RNG.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get like unbeatable RNG. I can't say much about that because in my match against her I got way more items. Well, not way more, like 2 more items. It was
Yeah.
pretty absurd, to be honest.
Yeah. So I in my match against Neo, was it 2 days ago? So I felt like I was extremely lucky. So for me, it was definitely an outlier. But when I looked back at the statistics, actually, so in a sense, I got luckier for sure because I got the items on the important tracks. But the net total of advantageous items that Neo got was higher. So, which prompted a quote between Firewaster and me. And you said, what did you say again?
I don't remember exactly. I can check.
Bad RNG for a French is when you get the strong items on the wrong tracks.
yeah, I said exactly that, yeah.
It's so on point.
That French RNG is excellent items in the wrong tracks. Something like that. I wish I had an explanation for what happens with that, but it's just it is what it is, I guess.
So once again, I am absolutely not complaining about. Don't get me wrong about the item RNG that I got against Neo was better, undoubtedly. But for me, that was an outlier. For him, it felt like for him, the RNG he was getting was below average, and we weren't that far apart. Yeah.
Just crazy. Yeah.
So, coach, can I ask you, who do you think will comprise the top 4 as it stands now?
I think it's you, Neo, and then yeah, probably Jarmu, Eric, or Eric Jarmu. I guess it will depend mostly on today's match result. I think,
It's exactly the same top 4.
Lock.
Oh.
Then like today's matchup has a very high what do you say? It's a very high stakes match because I have a feeling whoever wins it will be third instead of fourth.
Yeah, exactly.
I started to believe that maybe I could fight for the fourth spot, but after today's race, I think my chances are pretty much over.
Say that, coach.
Sadly, I think that's probably true. I do think I really expect you to play much better the remaining matches, but I think it might be too late.
But
I
for
think
his little
Aaron might still be an outside contender for the top 4 if he not if he plays like he did tonight, but yeah.
I was
So
gonna say,
how confident are you feeling about reaching top 4, Eric, at this point?
I'd feel a lot better about it if I was 3-1 today instead of 2-2 for sure. But overall, I feel like my chances are pretty good. Hello.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
like now we have Onwa and Danger Mole who are in the lower part of the standings. Then I think it's me and Aaron tied, but Aaron has already played against Eric, against Theo, right? Those are 2 players that are probably in the top 2 and 3, in which I haven't played yet. I have to play KVD still. So yeah, I think it's today's results were very important for the outcome of the endings, more so than other. Wait, but there's one thing. No, but I don't think it will influence because Eric plays twice today, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think that will matter, honestly.
But I want to compliment you, Coach, on your Grand Prix play overall. Since you're primarily a time trials player, I've really been impressed with your play.
Well, thank you. Yeah, thought I was prepared. At one point, I started to believe I was prepared for the tournament, but
Didn't
Yeah,
you
so bad today.
prior to the tournament you converted into a full-time Koopa GP player, right? For a little
yeah, I
bit.
had that quick quick time span when I just went around beating some of the world records.
Did the same, but yeah, your Koopa were very impressive.
It doesn't transfer too well
No,
to
it does not.
real GP.
I actually think, maybe I'm wrong, but I think time trial Bowser DK translates better into GP 150 than Koopa Toad's GP does.
I would
If that
agree.
makes sense.
Could be, yeah. I wouldn't doubt it. But... yeah, so then I had like 1 week last week that I had absolutely 0 time to play or practice, and I'm not trying to come up with any excuses, but yeah, it's weird because GP it's a lot of like feeling and reaction, and if you go into a match like cold, it can be catastrophe. Just pretty much how I read what happened to me today. So
Yeah, so I absolutely recognize this. Like GP going in cold is brutal. I have a feeling that if let's say if you play your first All Cups attempt in a week, typically you'll reset somewhere in Mushroom Cup or at last Flower Cup, and then the next one will be good or better, significantly better. But going in completely cold is just yeah, it's difficult.
Mine tend to get worse, unfortunately.
Even after a 1 week break.
I don't think I've taken a 1 week break.
that's a fair point. Yeah, but there's one other thing that's like my overall my muscle memory for SMK is set to time trials because I basically just play time trials.
Sure.
I think that effect on me of staying away from GP for a week, I think it has like bigger effect on me than it
Yeah,
would
that makes a
have
lot of sense too, actually.
other players who have more GP experience.
But I tried to revisit time trials briefly. I know this is off topic, but oh, what a train wreck! If after not playing that for a while.
We can go off topic. We have plenty of time to kill.
That's true.
Are you planning a time trial return at any point?
Oh, I have to if I'm going to do anything at ASC. I would say at least by March, start practicing.
So you're not content with just dominating GP then?
No.
How do you feel about match race and battle mode?
Since Matt's not around anymore, I don't really get to practice battle or match race, so I don't know how to feel about that. Battle, I feel like I can kind of jump right back into it. But maybe match race, I could just do some one-player attempts just to get the feel of it. But you're still not going to get the feel of the item swings.
So I would encourage anyone in chat that is listening to this, if you have any questions, just write us in chat and ask them. We'll be happy to answer them, I think.
SMKC is supposed to be July. Oh, sorry, April 4th,
April 2nd and 3rd.
2nd and 3rd. Yeah, I'll be around to watch it. Because if it was on the following weekend, I might not be able to.
Yeah, hopefully you can check it out. I don't know really what to expect with attendance-wise with the Corona still going on, but we'll have a better turnout than the Fall Cup for sure.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean,
Oh.
if Drew brings his dog, you're already at a higher attendance.
There's the
That's very
chance
true.
that we'll get to have the Banner / Harvey meet.
Oh my god.
That for itself is like
I am
worth it.
I'm afraid that space-time continuum will rip apart when those two have a conversation.
I completely agree.
Reality will just collapse.
That's the true last myth plus of SMK.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
We have a
was.
question from chat, from Mike Halscher.
Okay.
What's the plan on CDM? I think I'm the only one that can answer that because.
Oh, I can answer about my plan.
Oh yes, go ahead.
It should be pretty quick. I plan to attend. That's my plan.
Excellent. I think the plan is indeed to make it a CDM too, because last year we did a CDE, the Championship of Europe, because traveling restrictions and everything meant that we had very limited access for players from outside of Europe. Ironically, though, an American won the tournament, but that's just by virtue of him living in the Netherlands. So CDM is we're planning to do that in the week that Super Mario Kart turned 30 years old, which is the last week of August, if I'm not wrong.
Yeah, and that's very significant.
And there should be some special celebrations which have to be detailed and planned still. But yeah, the plan is very much to do it in the esports game arena in Alphen aan den Rijn in the Netherlands again. And everyone is welcome to join. Even if you have never played SMK before, players of all skill levels are there. So hop on. Is there a non-zero chance of you or any of the cartel members attending, Eric?
I plan on attending.
You plan on attending even?
I plan
Excellent.
Like I said, that's not 100%, with everything. But I was shocked Drew somehow made it over there last year.
You were not the only one that was shocked.
He had actually offered us plane tickets and everything, but it was like way too short notice.
That sounds like Drew.
But that would have been quite a surprise. The whole cartel and Drew showed up last year, but it was just Drew.
Okay, guys, just a quick notice. I'll have to leave you for 5 minutes. I'll be right back.
Yeah. So yeah, about my potential ASC attendance. For me, it's currently like a 50-50. It very much also depends on traveling restrictions and stuff, of course.
Yes, that's true. But I like those odds pretty good.
Yeah, so, and then of course it also depends on my schedule that period. which I'm not entirely clear on yet. But if I do see an opportunity to make it, I will gladly come, especially if what Drew was posting about earlier on the message board
Yeah,
is accurate, that he's
Same.
actually going to follow through with that.
I don't know if his crypto fell through with the big collapse.
It might have. It might have.
That would be our luck.
But honestly, like the monetary incentive aside, and actually even more so the multiplayer incentive aspect aside, I would just go to hang out at an SMK event with the cartel guys and everyone else that's planning to attend. Because the atmosphere at these events is always fantastic to experience.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I do think it will be a really great time. Trying to think of all who's pretty much committed to coming. I know Matt's coming for sure. There'll be Kyle. Dave Smith said he's coming. Ethan. I'm not so sure about Dan or Joe.
What about your commentator Harvey Cartel?
If he gets away, I'm not going to pick him up again.
I
That's not
sense
happening.
I sense some PTSD there.
Yes. I just hate driving in general because I worked for the Postal Service for 6 years almost. And I just hate driving. I put about 200,000 miles into that alone
Oh my dear, yeah,
in 6
that's
years.
nuts.
Yeah, and then having to stop 250 plus times. No. And dogs really do hate the mailman. You can ask Matt because he was my relief driver. That's pretty much how we become good friends. I think I've explained this before.
Oh, have you? I don't know the story actually. Do tell.
Okay. Well, we initially met at working at a local pizza chain, and I got the mail job on a bid, so I wasn't like an official mail carrier. I was a contractor or a subcontractor, is what you would call it, for this. It's like a route out in Hebert, Louisiana, or Abear, as they like to call it, I think. But it was the sticks out in the middle of nowhere, and me and Matt had kind of played SMK. He actually introduced me back into SMK on the GameCube, and we would play. And then eventually I started that mail route, and I needed a relief driver, and I said, "Can you work Saturdays for me?" And he did, and then our friendship just kind of took off from there.
That's really funny. I actually pretty recently I was like a couple of days ago I was wondering how you guys knew each other because it's pretty amazing and rare that good friends um, that are like friendships that existed before they entered the SMK community. Then both these people are capable of world record level driving. That's like unprecedented, even I think.
And an even weirder note, his mother and my aunt were best friends in high school.
That's crazy.
It is crazy, but I know it is a small community here. The parish or county, it's about 10,000 people, but still.
It's
We
Monroe.
Oh no, this is Caldwell. We both grew up in
Oh,
Caldwell.
right, yeah.
But
Has a lot more people, right? A lot more inhabitants, right?
oh yeah, Caldwell's small, and where I live in Grayson, it's literally 500 people population.
So I've always wondered this: is it Monroe or Monroe?
Monroe.
Monroe. Okay. Well, here we are.
But yeah, I took Harvey and Andrew Colts on a little tour of Grayson. There's not much to see. They did say they enjoyed the food though, so
The food's always really good in the States, honestly.
it can be unless you're talking fast food, which is absolute garbage here.
Yeah, so Taco Bell, let's not even talk about that. That is the hottest garbage. But it's Subway I kind of dig.
Yeah, it's okay. Especially since
Having said that, I haven't tried it in the States actually.
they've recently actually improved it a little bit. I think their bread can legally be called bread now.
And I definitely dig Five Guys and Whataburger. Those are all.
Harvey said my bison burgers were better than Whataburger. That's a
Huh.
and that's something else there.
That's a compliment because Harvey has a lot of burger eating experience, I'm sure.
He does. I'm not so sure how many home cooked meals he has. I
So
know
for
he does.
those of you that are listening in, Harvey is sort of a mythical, I would say a character more than anything else in our community. So can you explain in a couple of sentences who Harvey is for us?
You might could do a better job. That he's known as the Gulfport Oracle because he has a very good memory. Man, what else can I say about this guy? He would destroy Jeopardy. Uh, I know he likes going to the casino. He's been on in the SNK community for quite a while. A lot longer than I've been involved in it. 2019, we made first contact with him. Actually, Andrew Colts made it to him first. We expected to see Drew sitting on the front porch and not Harvey, but sure enough, it was Harvey in the flesh. I don't know else what you can really say about him. He attempted the Packy one chip challenge live on stream at the Fall Cup, and he appeared to went catatonic there and started drooling. So it was quite hot to him. I don't know if you've seen that, Carol, but it's a must watch, and I have to press Kyle to get that uploaded.
I don't think I have, no.
Somebody,
I have definitely seen a lot of footage of Harvey eating on the camera of during ASC because he eats a lot and he eats really slowly.
yes,
So
and followed by a lot of coughing.
yes. So I had the pleasure of being at the same dinner table as him with the ASMKC 2020. Together with a group of Carters. And
Yeah, I was supposed to be there. Then Sami started talking, and I got
yeah, you got trapped, did you?
I got trapped and pulled into that, which I'm
Yeah.
not entirely complaining, but I did miss the dinner.
I mean, the dinner was fantastic. Just observing Harvey for 2 hours at the dinner table was, I would almost say, a life-changing experience.
You can't get that in India.
Lafango and me are still still talking about it from time to time. Just how mind blown we were. And actually, Lafango was recounting the story of this famous dinner in the train to a friend of ours, a mutual friend of ours, when we were going to Alphen aan de Rijn towards the setup for CDM last year. And as he was telling the story, like very animated storytelling, and we could tell that in the booth next to us, a whole group of people that were talking before to each other were just stopped talking and were just listening to our story. It was hilarious.
That's really funny.
That's the
So they
effect
got
Harvey has on people.
they got a taste of Harvey and how absurd he is, and yeah, it's
So
fantastic.
they got a showstopper on the train.
Yeah, they did. They were in for a ride.
But I forget that was y'all's first contact with him.
Yeah, what a contact it was.
Wow. Yeah, we did a casino buffet with him on our first contact with his dad. Man, his dad's just as much of a trip.
Really?
Yes, Harvey's father's something else. I really like Harvey's father. Maybe more than Harvey.
Maybe more than Harvey does, or maybe more than you like Harvey?
More than I like Harvey. His dad is really cool.
That's nice.
Or as he says, I don't need a GPS, I've got Nick.
Oh, that's actually I found it very weird because I don't remember which event it was that I was talking in chat and I started saying, I don't remember why, but some random stuff about Brazil. And Harvey, I I'm gonna tell you, he knows more about Brazilian geography than I would say like 70% of Brazilians.
That's crazy.
It's
I,
it's crazy because it's very random. It's completely random. It was amazing.
he has such a wealth of knowledge, but he's so socially awkward at the same time. But that's to be expected.
Yeah, it's also like I'm sorry to say it like this, but I think the knowledge greatly outshines the wisdom also.
Yes, yes, it does.
It's not just social awkwardness, it's also being able to translate that knowledge into like any kind of normal decision making
Yeah,
seems to be somewhat lacking.
yeah, he's not very. I wouldn't say totally unself-aware, but he's pretty unaware of himself.
Yeah. And
What a character.
to come back to the quote that I don't need a GPS, I got Nick. I mean, no, so it's positive. He's quite something. No, but I don't I don't need a GPS because I got Nick. But yeah, that makes sense because I don't think routinely they ever leave their city, Gulfport.
I think
Normally.
they'll go to Lake Charles to see his uncle every now and then, but I think that's about as far as they go. But that's just a little drive. I think it's not like maybe 3 hours.
So on a positive note, Gulfport is the greatest city, isn't it?
It's not too bad. The Boulevard, which is actually in Biloxi, but Biloxi and Gulfport are essentially the same cities. It's
Mhm.
a very nice casino. They had a good buffet, but I'm not a big time gambler like I used to be, so it's not really my style. But they do have a nice casino there.
So you're fully expecting Harvey to be at ASC
Oh
again?
yeah, he'll get there one way. Um, like I
Is
said,
Colts? Is any idea if Colts is coming?
Colts is gonna come if his school schedule allows for it, which hopefully it does, because as the martyr he is, he will probably be picking up Harvey. But if not, we will try to arrange something, but I will not be going to pick him up again. Like I said, that's not happening. In a perfect world, Fenner takes a bus down and goes through Gulfport, and Harvey gets on.
That would be quite something.
Talk about a
Uh,
first meeting, clash of two
yeah,
worlds.
there should be someone filming that when it happens, so maybe send someone besides Harvey and Fenner.
Yo, but I feel like Matt and Fenner meeting up, which is I don't know, monumental in itself. I feel like that is the push that Fenner needed to commit to actually coming to the event, knowing we're not going to just troll him and be an asshole towards him. Excuse my language.
Yeah, makes sense. Carl, do you know if we need like a 10-minute gap so Speed
I
Gaming
was just
can...
wondering the same thing because I think they need to transition into a new overlay and stuff. So yeah, I guess we just end the. Can you do that from the panel? Just end the. Or can we ask maybe what to do?
Let me check.
Yeah, because I'm going to actually cut out right now for to prep for the match and take a quick
Yeah,
break.
sure, of course. Yeah, by all means. Good luck, man.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed the chat. It's been really fun.
Good luck,
Yeah, it
Eric.
was. Yeah, do a good match.
Yeah, and hopefully it's been informative to some of the listeners out there.